life model.
Yes, so, okay, so you're doing the life model. It's a way of structuring conversations. You're going to tell us about the first letter today.
Yep.
So tell us about how you facilitate that type of conversation with someone, because, sometimes just saying to someone, how do you want life to look? I mean, it's a great conversation starter, but maybe sometimes you could take it a little bit further. So tell me about how you do that.
Well, the thing is, people really don't know what they want, and it's a really big question when you ask them that. And the reason they've never figured it out is because the question is so big. It can be overwhelming. Where are you going and what do you want? Most people, I really don't know. So I'm busy, but I'm not achieving any sense of fulfillment or a sense of mission or purpose. So they're really unclear about where they're going. So when you ask that question, it is a big one, and people need a tool really quickly to enable that. And one of the simplest tools to use is what I call the optimal future. And all it's a matter of doing is getting somebody to sit down for a moment and actually dream about what they want, but not to overthink this. Because it's a daunting question, people try to figure it out like it's in a puzzle that has to be worked out, or some equation. It doesn't. It's really something that just has to flow from within you. I like to think of it as values surfacing. Ultimately, there are a set of values that are driving your life, that are really important to you, that are taking you in a direction in your life. What if you could surface those? And what if you could create a life that honors them or flows with those values? Then you're really living something with some purpose. So what you do is you sit down, you get a bit of paper and a pen. Find somewhere where you can think freely, where there's no disruption, and then you write. Now there's no real structure to this, so don't overthink it. But just think about what would your optimal future look like, and if you want specificity, what are you driving? Are you traveling? What's the time you're spending with family? What sort of friends are you keeping? Who are you involved with in terms of mentoring and helping develop or shape? What are you earning? What is the house you live in?
And I suppose the optimal future can relate to any genre in your life as well. So you could go, what's my optimal future in life in general? Family, what I'm driving, wealth, what am I doing, behaviours, etc. But you could do optimal future at work, and you could think about that just as a primary context, or you could think about my optimal future in sport. So I suppose there'll be a whole lot of areas, is that right?
100%, there's no doubt about that. But all of this is just generating clarity around direction. Where are you going to go? And if it just flows on paper like this and you really tap into something that this is what you want, without having to justify this to anybody, the chances are it's deeply aligned to your values. And you will feel excited about it, you will feel passionate about it, and that's a really important element in this. It will have longevity.
Right. So that's L.
That's L. So
there's the first thing. So if you're having a conversation with someone, you're going to go through L, you're going to talk about L, tell them in the acronym, start with L, and the first probing tool you're going to use is really getting them to describe their optimal future in detail. Like in terms of how you wake up, how you live your day, like describe yourself in that future state.
Yes, that's correct. And here's just one thing, for me, is that I did this years ago, I think probably 6 or 7 years ago. And I still pick up the piece of paper and nothing's changed. Like everything's exactly as I would still want it. So it just shows you how the answer's there. It's not far from you. It's easily within reach, actually, within reach of a pen and piece of paper and a bit of time. That's how close it really is. But this will just give you the structure to begin that journey.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.